Good evening, VV Nation, and happy Monday. Welcome to the channel. My name is Ryan. Always a pleasure. If you're new, especially welcome. Now, tonight's presentation, we're going to break down the top stocks in the NASDAQ 100. I know the QQQ's NASDAQ 100 is an incredible benchmark to try to outperform. So why overthink it? And let's focus on the top 10 stocks in the NASDAQ 100. We're going to utilize the VectorVest 7 system, identify the top 10 stocks based on overall value, safety, and timing, and then jump into the charts and see if there's any potential with these positions. So if this is something that you're interested in, stick around and let's get started. All right, big event coming up. We got the Las Vegas 2-day investment seminar coming September 20th, 21st, 2025. You can achieve the VIP experience in person. Just go to vectorvest.com/Vegas to register now. All right, we're in the VectorVest 7 software, and you can see these are the top 10 stocks within the NASDAQ 100. Some heavy hitters here. No surprise, Nvidia at the top of the list, followed by AMD, Google. But look at some of the other names here. We've got Micron, greatly undervalued. If we take a look at value divided by price, anything above 1 shows a stock is undervalued by the VectorVest metrics. We've got Google on that spectrum, along with Micron, T-Mobile, Meta Platforms, and Lam Research. As well, if we take a look at the RVs. This looks at long-term price appreciation potential, right? All favorable ratings above 1. All of these stocks have a safety rating above 1 and RT, relative timing, above 1. So the bulls are in charge for these positions. Now, they all have buy ratings here. If I scroll over to the right, you'll notice, look at the growth rate and earnings, double digits across the board. So you can see exactly why I wanted these 10 stocks on your radar. So let's go ahead and jump in the charts and see if there's any real potential with these positions. All right, first up is going to be Nvidia, and I'm pretty sure we all know that's probably one of the best stocks in the NASDAQ 100 to have exposure to in your portfolio. You can see a nice trend to the upside over the last few months, just taking a breather right now. Price action still above the 20-day EMA, above the 40, so no real concern there. If we look at growth rate and earnings, 36%, sales growth rate, 69%, rising earnings per share, all items I like when it comes to Nvidia. But as we've seen, as the companies get on bigger, look at the growth rate and earnings starting to decelerate here, along with the sales growth rate dropping over the last 12 months. AMD, similar situation, nice rally over the last few months in an ascending channel right now. Price action still above the 20-day EMA, so can't be too concerned. Now, depending on where you're bought and what your objectives are, you may want to protect profits here in the near future. But look at the growth rate, 28% growth rate and earnings, sales growth rate, 32%. And what I do like, we noticed the earnings per share was tapering off here, but look at it now, starting to come back and actually continuing to hit higher highs when it comes to the earnings per share at 516 currently. Now, here's one of my favorite Mag 7 stocks. We've got Google, and it's showing one of my favorite chart patterns. Very simple. Value on the rise, undervalued, price action on the rise. We see nice steady rise in price action, and with the earnings growth rate 18%, sales growth rate 14%, rising earnings per share, Google is a phenomenal stock. Definitely should have it on your radar, since it is one of the most undervalued Mag 7 companies according to the VectorVest metrics. Here's another value play, going to be Micron. Again, same pattern here. Value on the rise, price action on the rise. We did get some rejection at this level here around 127. We are coming back to retest this 20-day EMA and this level support here. I just want to see price action. Nice pivot off of the support here, off this 20-day EMA. And hopefully the bulls can notch out another high here, surpassing the prior high and continuing the uptrend. Now look at the forecasted data, growth rate and earnings, nice steady stair-step fashion to the upside, coming in at 38%. And even sales growth rate after it fell off, look, 37%, not a bad number. Rising earnings per share, RT relative timing, and favorable territory for the bulls. Now here's Broadcom, a lot of momentum behind Broadcom here, retesting that 20-day EMA. Now I wouldn't be too concerned about this position, still has a buy rating here. If we lose the buy rating or if price action drops below that 20-day EMA, yes, you may want to get defensive depending on what your goals and objectives were here. And the stock overvalued. Here's a valuation here. We value the company at $179. Investors are paying a premium right now for Broadcom, coming in at $303. But hey, growth rate earnings 26%, sales growth rate 20%, not bad numbers, rising earnings per share. Still a great stock, but a little overstretched at this time. Here's Synopsys, nice pivot off that 20-day EMA. The buy rating is intact and continues with price action. Nice full body candlestick to the upside here. Position is overvalued, but hey, it's okay. Investors are willing to pay a premium for it. We value the stock at 424, currently coming in at 622. Growth rate earnings 16%, sales growth rate 10%, and the forecasted earnings per share EPS here on the rise. I do like this position. I like this pivot here, especially if you're more of a trader, not so much as an investor. Now here we've got T-Mobile, nice lower left, upper right over the last 12 months here. Look at this value on the rise. You are getting some value here. Fresh buy rating over the last few trading sessions. Growth rate 16%, sales growth rate 7%, earnings per share ticking up nicely here, coming in at $11.79 per share. So again, as long as the stock has a buy rating, I'd play the momentum to the upside. We got Meta Platforms. This has been an undervalued stock for quite some time. Just hit a high as of yesterday, seeing some rejection from that high. But look, nice little pivot off this 20-day EMA. So if you're looking to, accumulate some more Meta, might not be a bad call. Now, if price action does break below this 20-day EMA, would get a little bit more defensive. But hey, with growth rate earnings 21%, sales growth rate 22%, EPS still ticking higher, and it being an undervalued Mag 7 company, definitely should have Meta on your radar. Here we've got Lam Research, big down day yesterday, price action right at that 40-day moving average, trying to find a level of support here. If we get a break, I would, get a little defensive here just in case, but growth rate earnings 17%, sales growth rate 34%, EPS ticked up once again over the last month here. I do like this position, but again, not a good time to be buying it as it retests that 40-day, showing weakness in the uptrend. Now, here's the last stock this evening. We've got Amazon. Was a value play here, but now the stock is a little over our valuation. We value the company at 207, currently trading at 230, but right now, price action just back above that 20-day EMA, showing some optimism for the bulls. Buy rating intact right now. Forecasted data, 25% on the earnings side. Sales growth rate, 13%. And look at this, RT relative timing did notch lower, showing some weakness, but now it's trending higher with a higher high and a higher low recently, showing that the bulls are trying to come back and take control of this position. Definitely good stocks to have on your radar. Hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation with these 10 stocks out of the NASDAQ 100, utilizing the VectorVest 7 system to find the best NASDAQ 100 stocks to benefit your portfolio in the second half of 2025. Now, if you enjoyed the presentation, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow evening. Good night.